so 주주 가면 성행에 가라. 저는 가상님의 신기. 근데 공적이니 되네 대양 되네 가상 성행에 된도 냠버셔야 돼. 샤네 되네 되네 또 개체슈디 되네 공기 값으로 개체슈디 대송거래스 템바스야 돼 개체무송거래스 템바 템바스도 가능성이 요라서나 텐지 송이 요래 텐지 송도 가능성이 요라서나 근데 제단 게 검세야 되다 이 공만한 것을 손에 곰바마이 곰바이니 송래 근데 검세야 돼 근데 지 곰주 유는 곰바이나 근데 돼 근데 샘게 다샤베기 곰르마도 양타베 곰마이 송래 하고 송아 아니 근데 강야 마곰뱅하는 곰부였잖아요. 송요래. 강야 곰바 매뱅하는 곰부였어. 대손도 곰스드 믹스에게 직삼노다는 곰바들 가야스 송고요 말이. 근데 너나 근데 쳔바 코랑기 단다데 셈 서칭 리퍼지 여러봐. 디 코랑기 딜라 근데 딜라 셈게 지 쳔베기 셈바 쳔네 데이텐도가 되네 가서 그래 약도 당 근데 다가나 신게 상행기 근데 강야 매백이 레도 매백 안에 근데 셈 코랑 마주백이 나라 근데 냠브르샤 스나야리 디 템베지 셈들 쓰게요. 에스 디 손자 인도 근데 디 값으로 남도 샤라요 값으로 남도 코랑 뭐 봤다네 근데 다외 값으로 남도 생애데 근데 샤르자다 샤르제 근데 강야 매백 근데 남도 코랑 게 생기된도 야샤네 생기된도 파토도 인가 지금 너나 근데 셈 코랑 딜라 쳔베기 셈바들 개치시리요레스 테마도 곰스제네 마주 유명한 샤 다른 변에 셈 마주베 랑보근한도 곰스들 근데 곰지 곰주여베 이런 딜 칸 곰스가 말레스. The other point is like when we say about ordinary mind and so actually ordinary mind or fresh conscious, is means or natural state of mind, and it doesn't mean that you have to look something else besides the momentary thought. Actually, the real mind is the momentary thought is the real. It is the mind, no any other mind. So when we say we have to meditate on the natural state of mind means actually when thought arises and then you just analyze thoughts and then at that moment you can feel the thought is no other from the state of that actually that emptiness and the luminosity, which means when you look at thought is not existence, but yet still you can self-knowing. That I don't know exactly whether this word is right or not, but Tibetan we say rangrik. Rangrik means mind can see, its own very clearly, which means unceasing. It doesn't goes blank. It doesn't feel anything, but still everything is clear without any cleaning. So that is really called no self-knowing. So because when we say meditate means just turn, and actually great masters they emphasize when we say meditation, and meditation means if you something to meditate on, and that is not really the meditating on the mind. Meditation means, you're something used to it, which means we are always distracted. So, and what we need to do is just, most of the Mahamudra teaching says, you have to apply tenba. Tibetan words tenba means, remembering. Means, you're always not away, your mind is not away from the aware everything, or self-knowing. So just maintain on that kind of temba.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Yeah. I think mindfulness, yes. So with this is just just further clarification. So now we'll do just about 20 minutes meditation. Yonzin loma ju baraje na ganda chuju de na deje homer ju ba tengdre dambe chuju chambe bejere nyember de ba dam jende je da da simjen dam je lo chosun ro jinje lo che lamdon ro jinje la do zo lam chuba se wa jinje chuba yi je zo ja wa jinje la do zo 나가자 자기 챔뷰게 네 동공부터 제발라 신의 사통을 때네 네 공교 바탕 네 대게 공발을 때네 텔을 때네 네 대설 메도베게 냠숨 용하다 네 더도 자기 챔뷰부터 네로 네 너나 근데 Ronyambala, Tobala Sobeke, Dux Demares, Gosoma, Tataring, Teta Bugitun, Chagachim between Yamsunam, Chebala, and Zo Chanjuk Samrum Buche, then Chaming the Chanjuk Samrum Buche Tango Batang. Then Hagbarto, Tetemba Zamji and Matse, then Teta Bugit Chanjuk Sam, Yingji Tedan, then the Tombani Sunjuki Sundun Jubek Gone. then 냠슬랭 거가 때문에 제가です. 네 가시에게 삼나 then 차게 챔버 세도 되는 배때 가서고래 차게 챔버다 되네. 세 냠슬레 다 배나 카투게 then 터두게 냠네 임바다. 대 인두 then 대 냠슬랭버 제발라 then 다가는 신기 then 가서고래 심제나 닝제다. 야 달라마 군초 숨나 대바다 무구다. 근데 가야 마고바 쟤네 코랑 쌤 코랑 땡도 다시 하나 봐 누구누구를 쓰면 소리 가시에게 근데 ben에 근데 셰셰게 요르다 근데 같이 근데 이제지게 요르스 근데 된주 ben에 근데 남노르스 하고서 근데 착제 챔벽 내로도 양타고 또버 제발라 당부 아니 ben에 닝제 양타고 전주 그 쌤름 부제 양타고 줄을 깨와 당 근데 다가 너신기 대 땡도라 근데 랑기 조 산지 주 군초름 부치 넘버 숨레 근데 다가는 신기 근데 다베나 게외신이 라마라 소발라 대바타나 무군일 때네 근데 자기 준비고에서 샘진네로티 원도 결국고 여러마다 텐데 가야 마고바 개와 좀 마고바 틱바빠 마고바 가야 되네 녀보 때 마고바 간 제네 그런데는 샘게 땡도 샤과 인심 틱한가 안에 팽겨요 말레스 하고 송아 되네 틱한데스 차가 여선데 맨 사제 벤칭이 송송아래 룸빌 차게 체고나 파지 둔주주를 요르스잖아요 송아래 되네 가야 매베지 그 탑지다 텐데 가야 매베지 다가 셈을 따와 인스전에 텐데스 제바이나 아니 셈진네로 또주샤네 아니 룸부 차로 그래 송아라 봐 딘나싱 둔주주 주는 주 그래서 빼 딘나싱이 텐데스 인두 사제 벤드다 송아라 봐 룸빌 차게 체고나 파제 둔두주로 줘서 차게 심고 건바데 되는 둔둘 계약 줄로 그래서 뭐라 다 된데다 다 차가 Pena kaina mena. Then Lumbu means without knowing or kanga lamba. This one's a tendel tene, then a tambu chanju kusem rumbuchi yantabuchi, then a tamam mugulas of Kent, those. Actually, the Sakya Pentata, he is the great scholar of Sakya lineage, and in fact, he is very well known Tibetan teacher, both in Tibet and in India. And then he's written one of the texts. He said, without knowing anything about Dharma, which means without knowing, of. So he said there's dangerous that you will, instead of you reach enlightenment, you can reborn in animal realms. So that's why it's, in order to practice Mahamudra, because lack of certain, thing, and there's certain, people expresses that once you practice mind practice like Mahamudra or Mahāti, then you don't have to accumulate merits, you don't have to develop bodhicitta, you don't have to do anything, you just look into the mind and think everything is mind. And then it will be solved all the problems. And that is not that easy, because you have to actually, know, and in fact, you have to arouse the quality of mind, and that is the only you can arouse through the compassion to the all sentient beings, and then also the other one is the devotion to and Buddha Dharma Sangha, especially to the gurus and the lineage. And these two conditions and actually arises the ultimate nature of mind. So that is the just now it's expressing, that's why how important to develop the compassion. This kind of the idea or the notion, it comes from, I think that because the result of Mahamudra, yesterday we explained the non-meditation or one taste, and once you have realized of the one taste, which is the inseparable of the nirvana and samsara, or no distinguish between the meditation and post-meditation, and then you can say it's you don't have to, particularly don't have to generate bodhicitta, or you don't have to abandon anything, nothing to accumulate merits. But until you reach that level, and if you just say you don't need anything, just mind, and you just actually you're just reflecting of the result, not really you haven't realized. Because when we do during the meditation and when we don't meditate, like post-meditation, it's completely different thing. Because while meditating, your mind is more concentrated, and once you are out of meditation, and we are wondering everything, so it's not the same, you haven't achieved that level. So actually, somebody is trying to, bring the result into the, on the base. So this doesn't work, So that's why on the path, it's very important to generate bodhicitta and develop the devotion. That especially in the Mahamudra practice, we greatly emphasize on the devotion. Like it says in the, the prayer, devotion is the head of meditation. And then that's why also before anything to do the Mahamudra practice, and the great emphasis on doing the four foundation, and especially the last foundation is the Guru Yoga, to develop devotion. So that's why, in fact, like great Milarepa, he expressed that the preliminary practice is more profound than the actual practice, which is Mahamudra. Which means, because without devotion and without compassion, if you just try to meditate on Mahamudra or look into the mind, it's not that easy to arise, 동을 문탐매베 심제라 수메 닝제규라 겨쇼 송바데 대손데 간송고 알았으나 근데 제단기 tenen roverang chi ta du sangi jang san ro simjen thamche gi ta gyula dewar shikwe ge ningbo tene yeba indu tene am tene ta ta nga na ti shebe ina tamar di sheba den ro simjen thamche gi gyula to number kon yeba re je sonza to number kon du la sangi chue gi kuthi tene dundar meba shu yo re de yina yang tene te marikpa la tene sosu ge ngoma she tene ngoma she be tene kowa dongan di jansu chenpo la kyam ako songa tene kyambam tsamjim ma che degi dongal pa do meba tene bena jansu tabu peshane ta meba chik dongal ke ta meba chik nandu suba tela tene bena dongal da chandu ke lo dewa dan dendu ke lo yuna yang tene ngone chena dongal da chal tuba dewa dan den tube ke soso la sanje chuju ku ti tene nuba de yuna ya ti ngoma shin bala tene tadabu kowa la chuwa tela tene ningje chago yumi cheba tene gewa che ba hago son te gewa che tene te ge gugu yore te sonjang dongal manda seme ningje gyula gewa sho tadabu ke tene seme ningje ti gyula tene ranshin ge gewa sho sonbare te sonde ta tande kapsula maranzo le thangbu be kapsula tene 가세고래 다 닝지디 베나 소수게 가세고래 검니 깨고요. 그래서 아니 베나 소수게 tene 샘기 내로도 또 용비게 값을라 tene 대답이게 내로 마도바 텐조 라 tene 런슈게 닝지 tene 가세고래 런슈게 배좀하고 봐 tene 깨토바 용고요. 그래서 대손자 대답이게 tene swimming gyul tu da nama kondo kya or shows tene tan sumares de kana tsik de mas lo na ba ba ti tene ningji ti da da ningji la tene tene tanda ti ngo ran dongbek hago songa dongba nigi ngo dongbek tön teyang tene ran shuki tene sharwa te temben zabare ta ndona toni ningji songdu jubar tena yo res 그 손도 가능성 거여서나 수면 닝지 쩌량 망가 앞에 제도 뭐 동동 잼바샤 동동 잼바샤 손주 고사 자요 남자들 라면 연수 군도 검버 쇼 송버래 그 손도 대답이 당북군 좀 전주 그 셈나 때네 때네 타르도 된담 전주 그 셈 가서 오래 미바메베게 닝지티 하고 송아 미바메베 닝지티 때네 독스전에 깨운드 때네 닝지 그 짤 망가 바 차르심바네 손도 단 도나 다또 닝지 데셈기 코랑기 넘버 망가 바 서로 차텔 닝지 쓰기어봐 닝지 샤르와테 데네 데폰잔 테타베기 페메 닝지 짤야 망가 닝지 그 짤 망가 바 데네 차라와테 이게 나네 제도 뭐 동동 잼바 샤르스도 제외 두 대점 니나스도 심제 탐제라 데네 닝지 게네 아니 데네 잠바 다음 제외 두 제외 두 대점 니나 tene zheba tamje da chawe ke tene dongba-ni ki tuan tenyang tene rangshu ke teta nyamdo la chara yungu yo res tuan da mekba mewe nyingji ke tsadu kako son de son zang tene ndor na dongba-ni da nyingji ni ron nyamni sungdu jukbe ke tuan de tene togu yo res teta be sungju ki kosa chawa sundu tene teta be sungju ki lam de kosa dan chawa tene lam na kosa yo re tene 닝지 다 자외 셰럽 코나 이나 매 담보 셰럽 다 자외 닝지 코나 이나 데네 시베 대와레 졸토고 말레스 하고송아 시베 대와레 졸토고 말레 닝지 다 자외 셰럽 코나 이나 데네 베나 시웨 그 대와레 졸메투시드 데네 닝지 다 자외 셰럽 이나 데네 동번이 코나 이나 녀랑기 람라 코와 마도야 택받침
sorry the last one could you just repeat
닝지 다 자외 셰럽
yes
셰럽이나 된 동번이 코나라 닝지 매베 동번이 코나이나 되는 녀랑 글람라 콜와다 티고 쳔베 글룩다 치고 봐 되는 녀랑 글람라 너무 그랬어
it means
시와 초지바 대손자 되는 너나 돈이 닝지 수운도 주바 텔라 때네 되는 고사 차와스도 대답이게 되는 람 노사am 고사다 차와에 되는 람초 언더스 람초도 주반데라 tenen ramen yin su kundu gomba shu tuen rawa meba yin su kundu gomto ba sho so de
so here
compassion has three different kinds of compassion and one compassion is called mikpas na khanse garo simje na mikpas
Well, it's having, it's here you have things as object or reference.
Yeah.
You're referring to.
Actually, compassion has three kinds of compassion. Like, the first two one is it's called relative compassion, bodhicitta compassion. That is, you have a reference, because when you compare, you have an object that, you have compassion to the sentient beings. And the other one is compassion of it's called chula mikpa.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that the relative means that to develop compassion, you have an object, which is the sentient beings or whatever, so that is the relative. So based on you have an object and the reason, then you have developed compassion. So that is then through that, and then you develop the non-reference compassion. So actually this time we are talking about non-reference compassion. Through the developing of the bodhicitta, the relative bodhicitta, then you arises the absolute bodhicitta, non-reference compassion. So at that moment, and then automatically as you develop the non-reference compassion, and it develops at the same time the emptiness nature, it also arouses. So, and in short, and it becomes, like the other day we are talking inseparable, or one taste of the compassion and the loving kindness, and that's called the absolute compassion or absolute bodhicitta. So that is actually the supreme path or ultimate path. Because otherwise, there has Tibetan word here, kholsa, means you can have some khol means you can have some mistakes, or like when you go in the if you want to go some place and you're taking one route, and then there's a lot of route, the sides. So if you take, mistake, then you won't reach the way you reach. So it's like that, So like, for example, since this is teachings according to Mahayana's teaching, so like as far as the ultimate, the liberation point of view, the arhatship, and then Pratika Buddhas, they are not ultimate result. Of course, they have certain stage, like selflessness, or the half of the selflessness of the Dharma, things like that they have, but it's not ultimate liberation. So still after that, then they have to practice on this 6 paramitas and bodhisattvas action. So then they have to liberate. So that takes long time. That's why reason that Hinayana is a little longer way means because you have to practice anyway. You have to practice this Mahayana path. So these, and then without this is we are talking about without compassion, just trying to meditate on the emptiness. Then you just stay on this state of selflessness, and then without emptiness and just method or compassion, then you are not free from the the sibal kaingo samsara, cyclic existence. So the inseparable of the compassion and the emptiness, that is the supreme path. So we are praying that this be always in Kasa inseparable, that day and night we can develop that, so we are praying that. This chene da tongji ningji sung jugbe ge go tembare. Tene thi je so la theta bu ki tongji ningji sung jugbe lam thi ke tene lam the la tene tene thachimba da khasore te 다 사단람 타치네 테네 데블 멤버 다만함 템버트레스 디 간데레스는 다 검도블레 좀 젠다 운시당 심진민지 상지 싱럽장 상지 최놈주베 모놈도 도민장숨 터진 상지 쇼 손도레 데손드 대다비케 장주기 샘rum부체 메과메베 장주기 샘rum부체 당 동니닝제 또 동번이 숭둔주베케 대다비케 곰베게 topla tenes rwa lam yang thaba gombe topla tene tene jendang unshe tang sidu tene desungu yore 다 되게 람 되게 독스름 조연도 되네 텔라 다 연대 봐도 매봐 단 댕겨요래 대선장 되네 제 시도 지단계 되네 최 탐제게 내로 양타버 통투바 당 되네 다가난신 다 쟁아스도 드레스 제야요레스 너나 최 탐제게 내로 양타버 통투베기 쟁다 되네 다가난신 운시스도 되네 바나 신 심쟁기 되네 두자 코란 묘바다 참바 강고발라 강라 강두르기 되네 템바 줍투백 문시단 덴발라소백 너나 젠다 문시라소바 덴베기 고네 하고송아 덴베기 고네 되네 덴베기 고네 되네 다토디 대다보디 잔주선베기 삼바 남기게 되네 투기 넘버 타백 하섬기 톱당 모남당 되네 잔주선베기 쩌바 덴델라 때네 봐. 저바 텐들 때네 대답이 젠다 문시 텐주 톱. 되네 톱에 맞세 되네 대다기 고네 되네 심제 탐제기 되네 듀 멤버 체 뉴바탕 하고송아 듀 멤버 제바탕 되네 듀 멤버 제바 맞세 되네 신종 용수 장와시드 되네 파로도 침바 졸라소베게 잔주선베게 저발 때네 되네 산지기 신탐제 용수 장와시드 단 너나 마다베게 네텐수 탐제 다베네스 파 용수 장투바탕 다 레시세는 되네 데이텐돌라 되네 조 세드 되네 텔라 때네 되네 터도 대월식바게 되네 연대 탐제 다 자외 연대 숨주자니 민배 연대 숨주자니 스타미게 연대 조주잡시세요 된다 요래 텐수 탐제 용수 조백
숨주수니 근데
자외 연대 숨주자니 자와스는 지바 탐제다 자외게 연대 숨주자니 민배 연대 숨주자니 민바 라빈 젠도나 단산지게 연대 조주자시 시작이요래 하고송아 자외 연대 숨주자니도 추구기 연대래 민배 연대 숨주자니도 수구기 연대래 된 너나 되네 자민게 연대 조주자시 시작이요래 하고송 된데스 제네 되네 너나 되네 조민 장좀 터진 산지 쇼스 텔라 때네 되네 신감 단단 산지게 연대 탐제 조바다 산지지 신 용수 장와다 심제 탐제 멤버 제발라 소베고 고네 너나 되네 람티 양타바를 되네 용수 존에 되네 레브 조고 산지게 공부를 쇼 소모레다 대답이 되네 다 뭐남티 되네 다 죽도 와드레스 만남 근죽도 와디 간데스 두고 열었으나 근데 대답이 다 모남 다 차게 침비고 모남 다 다리 공도 따바데 탐제 근데 초주죠 세던 제베 투지 단스도 초주나 쇼베 산지 당 잔주센바 탐제기 투 되네 뉴벨라만라소베 탐제기 투지 진랍당 남그렇게 와치니 예베 투스도 되네 다가는 생케 되네 라니기 쯔베 로아심제 탐제기 되네 넘버카와게 게와 되네 계획의 풍부 같이 쌓여가 되게 투다 되네 딜라 때네 대더더다 심제 탐지기 대다기 산제 주주자와 세던 제베 투지당 되네 심제 탐지기 되네 넘버의 계획 수넘기 투라 때네 되네 다당 심제 탐지기 되네 다리 차게 챔비기 다 모남 간데 따바 대 탐지 양다분도 쇼스 전에 되네 모남 따바레스 되게 다 도레스 예, 다 든데스진 다 다리 착지 챔비고 모놈데 야고 차고 되네 다 초가레스 되네 다 키란조 믹스에 저만다 간 유베다 아니 난도 주주시라면도 까마 주지 Eye of wisdom
is the mind direct.
Actually the eye of wisdom is when you see the actually realize of the prajna paramita, and that is the known as eye of wisdom. Not the flash eye. Actually, there's about 5 eye, and then one eye is called the flash eye, and one eye is the God eye. And then wisdom eye, this kind of flash eye means, that you can see very distance. Anyway, the wisdom eyes include everything. Okay, so I think since nobody has any question, I think which is good sign. And this is supposed to be practiced by who is really deeply involved in this lineage. And but since I believe that you're all in this involved in our lineage. In fact, you're all practicing, and that's why I've given, without any hesitation, I've given this teaching. So I want to tell you the commitment of this teaching, that teaching is given just only for your knowledge, for your practice, but not something that you just say, I know this and that, everything. This not like advertising, So this I want to make sure that, because you cannot do, because until you realize yourself, you cannot express about the nature of mind, and you cannot just quote from the text. It's not possible. So this is, I want to tell you very clearly, all of you here who have taken teaching, actually this is the real teachings of Kagyu lineage. So you have to involve this samaya, between teacher and disciple. So I'm giving you this commitment. Please don't start talking like to attract people or whatever reason, please say. It's just giving you as your own practice. And then once you have realized, once you have a power to liberate the beings, then, automatically it manifests. So, but until that, this is what I like to say. And then as far as the practice concerned, and since you have received this teaching, and then, so it may not be realized by just one teaching, because it depends on the people. But since you have received teaching, then you must do everyday practice, at least this prayer, because it's not too long, and you can do in the just morning or in the afternoon or even in the evening. So just prayer, So then, if you can contemplate on the meaning, which will be very good. Even though you don't have time, do this, So you just pray once, Just try to remember the meanings, vivid, just, And then, so I think it will be very good. So I want to advise you to do this, as a everyday practice would be good. But it doesn't mean that if you don't do, it will be breaking samaya. I don't mean that, but it's advisable you to do every day. And then actual practice, like real practice of Mahamudra, you must, do it after the finishing your the 4 foundation practice, and then you will, previously I'm talking about this Sutra Mahamudra and Tantra Mahamudra. This is actually based on the Sutra Mahamudra, which is direct teaching of mind. So in order to realize that, so we have a Tantra Mahamudra like Vajrayogini practice, different idams practice, Chakasambhara and that, and like especially the 6 doctrines of Naropa. This is considered as the Tantra Mahamudra through the practicing of the different yogas like Tumo, inner heat, and clay light, and then these 6 Julu means illusion bodies and all that, and also Poa. These are the 6 doctrines which help you to realize of this. So actually we have to combine these 2 together. That's what we call, Nyame Thaku Kagyu, means Kagyu lineages. The practice is the Tön Sammo Chakya Chimbo means like profound meaning of Mahamudra, and then Tap Sammo Naruchuru means profound method of the 6 doctrines of Naropa. This way we have to realize. So this thing you must know, because otherwise now you may say you have received Mahamudra teaching, you are already, you don't have to do Mwando and nothing, but you need, to develop yours, because arouse these things, nature of mind is not something you have to really get. You have to, arouse. And so you need to purify your defilements. And so Mwando is extremely important. And then those tapes, and then I would like to suggest that, okay, whether individual, people or center, and if somebody wants to listen, and first you must make sure that he is the practitioner, and then especially, and who is, who has connection with this lineage, and then who's really seriously involved in the practice, and then you can permit it to give.